Hasty, ankle, limited. Maurice Hurst, calf, limited. Bosa won't practice, just a rest day. Fred Warner, hamstring, won't practice. Elijah Mitchell won't practice, just a rest day. Trey Sermon, ankle, won't practice. Greenlaw, groin, won't practice. Marcel's in the protocol. Deebo, groin, won't practice. Mac, just a rest day, won't practice. And Trent Williams, rest day. Go ahead.
For Hasty and Hurst, is there a chance that they can play on Sunday?
Yes.
Any Mohamed Sanu update?
No, I don't have one.
As far as Fred, he's so prominent out there in practice before games as a sort of an energy guy and as a leader. Are you curious? This will be the first game he's missed. Are you curious who's going to kind of step up into those areas for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be Aziz. When I look, Fred's a leader and stuff, but on game day, it's not like the big pump up speeches or anything. It's how he does his job on the field. And Fred's the leader out there because he's the quarterback of the defense. He gets the calls, he gets everyone lined up, being the Mike linebacker. And this week that'll be Aziz, who's I think more than ready for it.
What do you make of the Seahawks' struggles offensively? It's a team that you've played a lot of games with, but it looks like a very different version of them right now.
I know I know it's a matter of time with them. They've done it before. They got a lot of good players there, some competitive guys. I know their coaching staff too is a good coaching staff. So, people go through it. Especially when your quarterback misses some time. You have different guys in there. It takes a while to get that continuity, but even though they struggled on Monday night. Just like typical Seattle fashion, you saw how they almost won the game too. It took stopping a 2-point conversion, having a legal formation on onside kick, and so it really doesn't matter how they've been. It's always going to come down to the wire.
You've talked a lot about Bosa's physical abilities and things he does in terms of getting himself in shape and all that stuff. From a mental side of things, how have you seen him grow? Maybe just in terms of the way he attacks, opposing offensive attack.
I think Nick's one of the smarter players I've ever been around. He's extremely talented, but just the detail he looks into everything. You ever sit and listen to him and Trent Williams just have a conversation about one pass rush move that, I barely can see it all. And then you hear them talk about 25 different things that happened in 3 seconds, and you see the technical stuff that he's always on. And so the more he goes against guys, the more he studies tapes. Not everyone's like that, but he soaks in a lot and he applies it to his game, which has been real impressive.
When you have a guy like Deebo, do you have Deebo specific plays or carry over, say, to this week? Is it just like you guys have people who can do the same things, but maybe they play different positions or what have you?
Yeah, it's usually like that. It's you give plays to whoever can do them, however, which way, whether, and it works in the pass game and the run game that way. But some stuff you've seen Deebo do. George has done that before, not as much. We've had Ayuk do it before. So, if you think it's effective, then you do it.
When you guys get on a win streak like this, how do you approach it in terms of keeping them humble, but also trying to appreciate and carry over the positive momentum?
I don't really worry. I think our guys are pretty humble. We're not sitting here, we're one game over 500. They don't need me to tell them that. This league, it's different each week. We don't look at it as we just arrived. We look at it as we've done right. 3 weeks in a row. Is that what it is? Yeah, 3 weeks in a row. All right, or 4. All right, thank you. We just look at it that way, and we know where we have been at times this year, especially losing the amount in a row that we did. So, whether it's young guys, sometimes you can worry about that because usually you learn through your life experiences, and sometimes people don't get the NFL. I think our young guys learned how bad the NFL is when you lose, and I think some of them are seeing how much better life is coming to work, but everything when you win. And it's good that they can learn that, and everyone else who has been here, I think, already knows that.
Aziz has come through with big plays like the last 2 games. Has his ascent been a gradual one in your eyes, or is he just something right
clicked in lately, or how would you?
I think, Aziz in college, or even when he got here, I thought Aziz was always a kind of a splash player. Anybody who runs is without hesitation and is very physical and is running through people and doesn't hesitate, those guys make plays. Now, sometimes they mess up plays too because they're out of control and things like that. So I always think Aziz has made some plays for us, but I think the more reps he's gotten, in these few years, taking a starter role and stuff like that, I think him making mistakes has got a lot less, and the more that happens, the more confidence you get, and that's why he's playing at his best when he is doing those things.
Talked about just how Deebo's been everything for this offense and the mismatches he creates just by defenses not knowing what you're going to do. Given, how effective he's been as a runner, just creating those mismatches, do you feel like you have to find a new recipe to create that?
Yeah, usually you have to find a new recipe almost every week, but, regardless of what you do, people are usually going to be able to stop it, and, Deebo still was able to break a few big runs here 3 weeks in a row. But regardless of who breaks it, whether it's Deebo, it's not some real trick. It's real good blocking and having a good runner who's got a chance to, break a tackle and making it explosive, not just a 6-yard gain. And I think Elijah's done a pretty good job of that. And I think we got some guys who are capable. And the more big plays you get, the easier it is to win.
Does Mike always wear the green dot, or do you?
On our team, he does. And
Regardless of who it is, what's the purpose behind that?
just it's got to be someone who doesn't come off the field. People who play with a lot of DBs and stuff, they usually give it to a safety or something like that, but it's got to be a guy who doesn't come off the field.
Seems like Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles could have a big role on Sunday too. What did you guys like about him coming out, and as far as converting him from safety to linebacker, what were you kind of seeing in him?
When you always, when you're looking in a draft, you got to see where you can get guys, and he was a guy who's a later round safety, and didn't go. I don't think he was. Yeah, he wasn't drafted. He was a free agent, and Saleh and D'Amico just looked at him as they thought he had the capability to play linebacker. The style he played at, knew it would take him a couple years and stuff. So we tried to beef him up a little bit, teach him the ropes at linebacker, and we put a lot of time into him just from. Coaching standpoint, and he's been great here. He's had some setbacks with some injuries, especially in 19, I believe was his biggest one. But he knows how to run the defense inside and out. He's been good in his pass game, and as he's gotten bigger and stuff, he's learned how to play inside the box.
I feel like there's almost a morphine of safeties and like Sam linebackers. It feels like a lot of those guys have some of the similar responsibilities, and some of those guys switch positions. Do you feel like that's happened over the last few years in the NFL?
Yeah, it's all cyclical. Is that the right word? Was it? All right, thank you. All right. I think it's more that. 3-4 defenses are very interchangeable. And you watch, you go back and watch old games of some of these defenses, and you see it's not much different than now. Especially with some of the 3-4 teams and stuff they're doing. I think when you have 4 down lines, it's harder to change stuff up, but you see less of those. You need a lot of different packages and stuff, and the more packages offensive guys do, the more packages defensive guys do. So some years more than others.
What's your confidence level with your cornerbacks, Josh Norman and Mosley, going against Lockett and Metcalf this week?
I know it's a huge challenge. Those are 2 really good receivers, and you just got to make sure it's not just those 2 versus each other. Most corners, if you just go out and it's 1-on-1 all day, I don't care what the receiver is, they should eventually get you. So he's got to make sure that they compete, go hard against them. We have a good pass rush. We mix it up in coverage and try to confuse the quarterback a little bit, not give him time when he has the good looks. And when he does have the good look, you got to make sure you come down with a few.
You mentioned that when your dad was the offensive coordinator here, he sat and watched all the Bill Walsh installation tapes. Have you done that?
No.
How long did that take?
I think it took him like the first 3 months in the hotel building. I did it just for things have changed a little bit, so it's not the exact same thing, but I just did it for entertainment, and it was pretty cool to watch.
All right, thanks, Josh.
All right, guys, thanks.